How can we be more warm, more caring, more hospitable? Let's look to the example of the humble people of Latin America. Let's begin.
This is a beautiful thought.
I'd like to tell you a little about the story of how I moved to Latin America. A story about the warmth of the Latin American people. I remember, it must have been about 15 years ago, I was working with my buddy, Mr. Battle. Mr. Battle is Mexican-Australian, now even a dual citizen. And he would tell me, and this is an oversimplification, but sometimes he would say things like, when I go meet my white cousins, it seems like their mentality is, what can I take from you? What value can I extract? When I go meet my brown cousins, they say, what can I offer you? How can I make you more complete? And I thought about that. Actually, I don't know if I was moved in that moment, but later when I thought about it, I was moved. And after that, maybe even before that, people would tell me about places in Latin America. Like if they mentioned Machu Picchu or something like that, I would gaze into the distance, lost in the state of reverie, just imagining a mountain or some distant land with mist circling around. And I would wonder, what is that place like? I remember I started learning Portuguese and later started learning Spanish. Originally, I thought I would end up in Brazil. And in 2011, I asked my friend Adam, where do you think I should go? Like, I want to take a trip to somewhere new. And he's like, definitely Colombia. Definitely go to Medellin. The women are beautiful. You'll have a great time. I said, okay. And soon after that, I booked my flight. And I just had my Pimsleur Spanish, probably going through 40 hours of Pimsleur Spanish lessons. I arrived in Latin America and managed to talk to the taxi driver. And he was like, yes. Trying to have this conversation with him in Spanish. And he's telling me about his daughter. Oh, yes, my daughter, she studies in Melbourne and all these kind of things. And when we got to the guest house, he kind of helped himself to a tip with a little cheeky grin. And I was pleased to give it to him. And it was interesting. I remember a few times saying, I went to the house of my friend Joanna, and her father is there, and he's very happy to see me. And I had this thought in the back of my mind, like, what's going on here? What's the angle? Why is this guy being so welcoming? It's like, do you want a beer? What do you want? Take a seat, please. And I thought, does he want something from me? Is he trying to marry me off to his daughter? What could possibly be going on? And later I felt ashamed of even having those thoughts, because this fellow, Oscar, he was just so kind. He just wanted to welcome me. Nothing more. There was no agenda. He didn't want anything from me except to welcome me into his home. And this is the kind of warmth that I love about Latin America, that I love about Latin American people. Like when Mr. Battle told me, when Aaron told me about how Mexican people are, I ended up thinking, I want that. I want to experience that, and I want to be more like that. And of course, when I decided to leave Australia, I chose to come here to Latin America. And I guess the point is, not everybody can travel to Latin America. Not everybody wants to move here. But anybody can embody that kind of hospitality. When somebody comes to your home, you can tell them, hey, please take a seat. Have you eaten? That traditional part of Latin culture that they even take for granted. Like, of course I'm going to offer you food. We don't necessarily have that in Australia. Of course I'm going to offer you food. Of course I'm going to make you feel welcome in my house. Of course. And that is the warmth of the Latin American people. The kind of warmth, the kind of fire, flame that you can also kindle in your heart. Have a wonderful day.
A beautiful thought.
Thank you for listening. If you feel inspired to pass this on to a friend or colleague or family member, then please go ahead, send them a message, give them a little reason why they should listen to it or why they might enjoy it. If you have some feedback for me, constructive criticism, positive praise for me or my team, you can send me an email, kurt@beautifulpodcast.com, and have a wonderful day.